数江山云卷狂，一人一把剑如霜，军旗嘶哑奔走他乡，一路戎壮赴红光，大漠孤雁齐聚前。
Hello everyone, welcome to Mulan Forum. There are 3 phases for the Mulan Academy program this year in Dalian. I know many of you have already participated in the first phase, Storytelling Camp. And I know many of you are obsessed with the charm of storytelling right now. Today we are very excited to kick off the phase 2, Mulan Forum, where you can hear a lot of stories from our senior female leaders and get your answers to your questions. Today, we are very honored to have our first guest, an old friend. Jordan will introduce her to us later. After the introduction, our guest will tell her story. Then I will have the opportunity to ask her a few questions. And then it will be your turn for Q&A. At the end, I will also ask the guest to leave her keyword for Mulan quality that she would like to see most in our Mulan candidates. So, without further ado, now let me pass on to Jordan to introduce our guest today.
Hey, good morning, Kim. Good evening, Wang. So, and I think Lamei said it pretty well, and we all understand the reason why we have this Mulan Forum. And I think Wang is not our guest, and Wang is a part of our CCC team, and she's our head for global CCC and our fearless leader. So without further ado, I would like to give the stage to Wang. Thank you, Wang.
Thank you, Jordan. And first of all, I'm super excited and thanks for having me. And before I get into the discussions, so for those of you who attended CS Customer Support AAM Forum this morning, I would just like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Dalian team member who won the Leadership Excellence Award from CS. Beginning with you, Jordan, and Luyan, as well as Helen and Lucy, if I remember all correctly. So how about that 4 out of 5 of CCC winners are from Dalian site? So what does that tell you? So congratulations, my big congratulations to everyone and the Dalian team. I'm truly proud of you guys and really looking forward to today's event. So, and also thank you, Rachel, for facilitating the forum today. So let me go ahead and get started with, let me see, sharing my slide. Are you seeing my slide?
Yes.
And you hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go ahead and in the form of introducing myself, and my apology if I'm boring you guys with regard to what I'm saying here, because Dalian team is very near and dear to me, and most of you may have heard some part of my story and my career journey. But let me start with my career map, which is a very common format for each one of us, and I would encourage each one of you to really focus on developing a roadmap and envision that future for yourself and how you're going to drive forward. So this is my 36-year career and in HB, highlighted with my childhood in a war-torn Vietnam. Then I started and become a refugee here in the United States. That was a long time ago, 1975. And after I graduated from high school, pretty quickly get married to my high school sweetheart, and got our first daughter, and that is we welcome our first daughter Then before we, during the time that we also begin our journey in the U.S. As refugee, I worked at McDonald's, and then later on become a seamstress in the sewing factory before I headed back to UC San Diego for engineering college, which is the dream that both my husband and I wanted to do if we ever got the opportunity to go to the U.S. After I finished from San Jose State with a bachelor degree in industrial engineering, I was intern. I went to Stanford for graduate school and intern during the mid-year while at Stanford in the summer at Zilog, and then finished Stanford master degree and saw an ad at HP at the engineering school at Stanford for an industrial process engineering role at HP. And this was the week before I finished my final week at Stanford, applying. Interview 2 days later, got offered the job a couple of days after my interview, and the rest of them is history. So during my 36-year career in HP, we had our 2 sons. So I have a total of 3 kids, and 2 of them were born during my after I started in HP, and all 3 of them are grown up. And get their own graduate from college and working right now. So so that's a way of introducing myself in this. And let me quickly go into this next slide and said, you know, there are 2 phases of it. So after going to the
Excuse
US.
me, Juan.
Yes.
Excuse me. Do you want to put it on slideshow? Because now it's not in the
okay.
slideshow mode.
Okay, so I will do
So
that.
that we can
Sorry.
see it clear. Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, I didn't see it. I would start with my my 2 phases as part of my career. So I have a very humble beginning, as I mentioned earlier. I grew up in Vietnam, born and raised. This is basically the place where I was born and raised, and we come back and visited in the farm, you know, like, and during war torn. So it's the war ended in Vietnam that the catalyst for me and my family to go to the U.S. And become a refugee, getting married in Camp Pendleton, actually near here in San Diego. And then this is where my husband and I started our career working at McDonald's and at seamstress before we head back to college, as I mentioned earlier, within engineering education, beginning here, right here at UC San Diego, and then moved to San Jose State to finish my undergrad when my husband started his job in Silicon Valley as a design engineer for ASIC, so electrical engineer. And then I went on and finished Stanford before I started with HP, as I said earlier. So growing up in Vietnam during the war and started at the beginning as a refugee really helped me understand the hardship, what it takes to survive, and really helped me to also understand and learn the resilience from the root of it. So that's one comment I want to share here. And we're not taking anything for granted, right? Second part of my career, let me just it's almost like three phase. I have during the 36 year, I started as a process engineer here in Cupertino, California, out of Stanford, working in designing world-class supply chain for server and storage, and later on as solution. This is where the just-in-time manufacturing, material handling and storage system, and how we build that for server and storage. And this is prior to the merger with Compaq, and that was one of the best world-class supply chain for enterprise servers product. And once we merged with Compaq, that was adopted and moved to Houston as part of the broader side of the house. So then we move on, and I moved to Roseville and really work on developing those capability and further my career after a few other mergers. And after 20 plus year, I got the opportunity to really work on everything in the design, in engineering, on service and product, working on very multi-complex project of everything from design factory to design supply chain into driving strategic ODM, OEM partners in supply chain for server and storage. Then I got tapped on somewhat later, no, not, and really moved, this is the second part of it is moved to Singapore for the first time and working on technology services. And this is where I have moved from very engineering centric, working on very complex technology, global kind of process into driving a function and in the region and very administrative kind of functions and with technology services. I did that for 3 years, moving from Roseville into Singapore. And then during my third years, got tapped on and interviewed for this role in graphic solution services to lead the graphic solution and services supply chain. And I moved back to California, relocated to San Diego, to the house where I'm coming back just last year from Singapore again. So this is where, you know, the experience that I built between server and storage, as well as working with technology services on the contract management, really helped me for the first time become general manager and vice president managing the P&L for graphic solution services, taking 6 different teams from 6 different locations and really put them together and build a P&L and transform them, everything from customer, from employee experience, customer experience, employee experience, as well as profit and loss. And I did this for 6 years and really got excited about the role I did there until one day I got, I interviewed for the role in customer support. You know, after a while, you start feeling like you are becoming a block, a blocker for your team, and their time for to learn new things and all of that. So I moved to ABJ, as a lot of you know, with customer support, leading ABJ region for CS. And that is one of the roles that allowed me for the first time to start working in PC and consumer business as well. So very excited. And then, as you know, at last year in August, they've asked me to lead the global supply customer care center as CS globalized from 3 regions to 10 markets. So very excited to be here. And this is just at the high level, this is my career. So during that, I got the opportunity to travel the world, managing team all over the world, and at least 40 plus country, and really have the privilege, everything from Puerto Rico to Barcelona to Israel and everything in between. So, and Asia, as you see it. All right. Let me go very quickly here and wrap it up on what I like to leave you with as part of my journey. The first thing I want to start is at the center. Each one of us need to manage our career because we need to have a clear vision, just like everything we do, and the ambition on what you want to be and how do you want to get there. From that clarity and the proactive managing of your career, you leverage the tool in the process and your management chain and the network that you build to really advance your career. Secondly, be excellent at what you do, no matter what, how big or small in your role and the assignment. Willing to take the risk, calculated risk in this case, and truly believe in yourself and capitalize on your opportunity and develop this. So have confidence in yourself and believe in it. Now, the other thing is not only be excellent at what you do, be willing to take risks and be open-minded about new opportunity and never stop learning. Because as you learn, whether you learn about new people, your network, your new process, your new business model, it is, you never lost that, and then never lost. You build that and you continue to enhance your capability and enrich your career in that regard. And when I use the term here is use your support. I've been very fortunate in my career, not only to have a family and my spouse especially, and my kids later on, that are very supportive of my career and encourage me to do what I love to do and be passionate about. But also the support network, and very fortunate to be working in HB and have the support network inside HB as well as externally. So use your support network and take advantage of it. Make the connection. And the last comment I would say is be authentic to yourself and to others, because this is where you will build the trust and can be yourself. And if you are yourself and you continue to learn, grow, and develop, you will be in your best, no matter the circumstances that you presented with. So let me leave with this and give it back to Rachel and for her additional comment or questions.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Juan. Thank you very much. One thing I love about you is that every time you come to Dalian, you give us something new. I think for most of us, it's the first time to see your career roadmap. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
And I love your suggestions on the support and your risk-taking, and also your strong family support. And I admire it, actually, your family support system. And I really like what you do with your husband. As you previously, you also told stories about your husband, your family support system. And I think I'm going to discuss this with my husband.
Oh.
Okay. So before the interview, I have 5 true or false questions for the audience. The first 4 are for the audience, and one, you stay with me. The last one is for you.
Okay.
So the first one is, ask questions with courage, speak with confidence is the goal of First Mulan program. So true or false, you can type your answer in the chat box. And the first one will get a gift from the Mulan program. Wow, all of you know Mulan very well. You're all right. Yes, it's true. So the second one, build a pipeline of successful female leaders is Mulan program's vision. True or false? Yeah, again, all of you are right. Okay, the third one, one's childhood sweetheart is high. Is that right? True or false? You listened very well to one's sharing. Yes, that's true. The fourth one used to be a chef in a 5-star hotel. Is that right or wrong? True or false? Okay, one gave you hints. I see that. Yeah, one didn't work in a 5-star hotel, but she's very good at cooking. And we see you cooked in Zoom for us, one, in your kitchen.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the Let's Talk.
Hey, I was well trained at McDonald's.
Okay, wow, all of you are right. Okay, so it's your turn, Juan. The last question. One has a secret admirer in Dalian. True or false?
I am saying true, but I'm not sure who that is. Secret admirer. I admire Dalian team.
So we will see the answer in the next slide. Yes, you had a secret admirer in Dalian. And last time if you remember 3 years ago, and he hugged you in the training room. And today he is
Yes.
also in the room listening to you, and he hugged you. Yes. Okay. That's all for the true and false questions.
That is not so secret, though, Rachel.
Yeah, it's a public admirer now.
It's so warm today for some reason. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so nervous talking to you guys.
We are very privileged to have you, Juan.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Okay, Juan, so let's talk about the serious questions now. Are you ready?
Yes.
So we have heard the incredible story of your development, from a refugee working in McDonald's to a student at Stanford and then to VP in HP. You must encounter a lot of difficulties and challenges. So what do you think were the challenges you met in your career that were particular to your personal situation, and those that you think a lot of women encounter as well?
First of all, my first reaction is challenge it, definitely, but I view challenge as opportunity. And I view that as an opportunity for me to learn more, to work harder, and to excel, hopefully, in the end. So that, I guess, that determination and the view of, like when you encounter a challenge, it comes either with the job or here I am being presented with an opportunity, how I'm going to go about addressing that. The second part of it is when I feel like this is a harder issue that I never encounter, that I may need help. This is the support network and the learning that I always go to, be it from home or be it in at work, be it in my own team or my peer or my superior. So that is how I address them. So, but there are multiple challenges, and you can count on the number, but I view them as opportunity that we need to overcome.
Yes, I admire your positiveness. Yeah, you are very positive. You see challenges and difficulties as opportunities. And you possess a lot of qualities that we admire. So what do you think are the most important qualities in you that help you overcome them, to see them as opportunities? So
I think there are a few things. One is determinations,
determination,
focus, yeah,
focus.
and be very genuine or authentic in what I try to do, and be honest to myself. I said look at that as an opportunity, but you need to be very grounded on what you know and what you don't know. And that is the learning and the tapping on your support system and network is very important when you encounter challenge.
Yes, I hear determination. So that's one of the qualities that we require from the Mulan candidates, about tenacity, determination. Yes.
Now there's a lot of common saying like, you are the right person, so having the right talent and the right knowledge at the right time in the right place. Sometimes that is the blessing and the luck. There's some component with it. Sometimes luck is what you create for yourself too. I just want to emphasize that tapping on the network and leaning in, have your determination, your courage, and willing to take risks, right? And really, as I said earlier, really take risks and step up and manage your career and manage the work, and rely on a system, on the support system, and build that network of support that would include mentor that hopefully become your sponsor as well of your career.
Yes, you talk about mentor. So what was one advice that greatly impacted you from your mentor? Did you ever receive any?
Yeah, in my career, I got a lot of mentors. Some of them are formal through the leadership development program. By the way, I failed to acknowledge and congratulate the Mulan participant, the Mulan talent who participate in this program. I still remember very vividly every time I got selected into leadership program like you guys, and jumping into it and learning. And sometimes we got assigned real formal mentor. One of the formal mentor for my middle manager and leadership talent was someone from ABJ, from India actually. And I remember after he looked at my 360 profile and everything, and I had coffee with him for the first time in Houston, and I still remember him looking into me, and he told me, and he said, "Juan, you need to get out of enterprise business." And he said that it just bluntly like that. And you just kind of like pigeonhole yourself. You need to think about someday perhaps managing a P&L and being in print or somewhere inside HB. That you stay too long in enterprise. And I looked at him and I said, Subu, you know why? I'm still learning, growing, and I'm doing everything well. And, I was a little bit taken back, but what his advice struck the core with me, and it really, remind me every time the opportunity come and what I needed to do, to someday managing a P&L that is, and extend my leadership into other part of the business. So that was very impactful. It is one example, but there are several other mentors that really gave me great advice one way or the other.
Yes, how lucky you are. So do you think we can set up a mentoring system, a mechanism for our organization?
Very definitely. Yes, we did that. We did that not long ago, right? We did that everywhere. Actually, I need to say mentoring both have the formal kind of mentoring as well as the informal kind of mentoring. Sometimes your mentor does not necessarily have to be someone higher than you. It could be some of your peer at your level, but they can provide you I view some of my peer even to this day, my mentor. I view some of my employees as our advisor for me right now. That depending on the situation, somebody I can come with targeted issue, but then in order for you to extend your network and the mentorship, and that would ultimately become your sponsor, you may want to extend that outside beyond, but we can also structure that in a formal way to support you and to get you guys going. Yeah.
Thank you, Juan. And sometimes it can be a reverse process, right? Yeah, between the mentor and mentee.
Yes, I view the mentoring relationship, and I tell every single mentee that I work with right now, I got more mentee than I do have mentor. I only come to my mentor informally, but my mentee, I learn as much, if not more, from them, whether it's internal to HB or external to HB. It's a two-way relationship for that process to work. Yes.
Yeah, I wish
Very
some
definitely.
of us. Yeah, I wish some of us would be your mentee someday. So Juan, what is the biggest challenge of future women leaders, do you think?
So let me say this, future or past, some of the challenge remain the same, right? So the culture in terms of diversity, equality, and inclusion, the word had evolving and progressing quite a bit. There are more focus, increased focus on providing and support for female, especially women with family and all of this, and family member and all this. So that has been progressing well. But whether you are a man or a woman, but woman, in terms of the value that you bring into a family is a little bit different. So some of that may not change in the future. You pay more detailed attention. You are the mom. When the baby is young, the role that you play that it's a little bit different. But the word has also changed a lot in that regard. And when you talk about this as partnership and climbing the ladder, one of the advice I would give you guys is don't think that you different because you are a woman. When it comes to
Right.
professional career and advancement, think that you bring in unique value as a female employee, as a female leader, as a mom, as whatever, as a partner, and you got a unique role, you got value that you can contribute, and be authentic on what you do, be confident in what you can contribute. Don't overcompensate because you are a woman. I run into situation in the past where a female leader think because I'm woman, they tend to think that I am not, like uh, assertive and vocal and value and demand as man. So I have to act just like man. You don't have to do that because that means you may ended up overcompensating. Just be yourself and just focus and be confident in your ability. Raise your voice, make your contribution, and lead and bring that unique value that you have. Because each one of us are unique and different.
Right. And when you worked in 5 different locations, do you think the challenges are different in the different locations for you?
Yeah, the challenges are not just in the locations because I was born and raised in Asia, but I was educated in the US and the degree from the US and working at a company like HP gave me a lot of confidence in that regard. But working as a female employees managing team, technical team, mostly male employees, mostly, if not all, employee staff, and being in the staff most of the time as the sole female leader, I don't view that I need to behave differently. Now, I definitely am very different from an American or from a German or from someone from Israel, but I don't have to be just like them. I just need to know how to adjust to the different style and the culture. And, if I'm not comfortable confronting somebody in a big crowd, I would take them offline and work through it. Now it's a different style sometimes, right? But I could be more assertive and aggressive in that regard. But it it doesn't mean I'm always losing and all that. Just be yourself. And just the important part is you deliver what you say you're gonna deliver. That build trust. That build credibility. Don't expect people to treat you differently. Expect them to
Yes.
trust you because you deliver what you commit to and more consistently. That is how you build credibility in relationship, and that's how you advance yourself.
Yes. Yes, try our best at what we need to do. Be the number one like you, and then be authentic. And another question for you. So how do you
My
unplug?
name is Juan, isn't it?
It's one. Yes, yes.
In my family,
Number one. Yeah.
in my family, I'm number 10 of 12 kids. So I'm nobody in that regard. That was just a joke. Dry humor. Yeah, thank you.
So how do you unplug into you're under work pressure? How do you unplug?
One thing I
What's
mentioned earlier is focus and doing a quality job no matter what you do. I do the same thing when it comes time to unplug. I focus on quality time and being with the people I love and enjoy, family and friends. And then I focus on doing the thing I love to do, which is entertaining, at the way to connect off, to unplug and connect with my family. So cooking, as you mentioned earlier, is one way
yes.
for me to really connect with my kids, my family, and my friends and enjoy and entertain myself. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And so, post-COVID, which country would be your holiday destination?
Wow, that
Will you
is an
come to
unfair
Dalian?
question. Dalian, is it? Yeah, you know,
Okay.
on the more serious side, I have been the leader of this global care center for 3 quarters now since last August, and there are team that I haven't met since I become that leader face to face. I've been to Rio Rancho, but not as their leader, right? Before, I never been to Tunis, to Costa Rica. I've been to Barcelona a lot, but the team who worked there, you know, like I never met them before. So that would be hard decision, but definitely I would love the opportunity to come back to Dalian as early as we can.
Yeah, and we look forward to it. One, I think I've asked you several questions and you give me very inspiring answers. Now I really want to hear from the audience. So Mulan candidates, please unmute yourselves and shoot your questions to.
So it's our time.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Who? This is Emily.
Yeah, she can't wait.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, all. I'm very nice to meet you. Really long time no see. You know, just now Rachel said you have a admirer in Dalian. I thought that's me. That's definitely me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, this morning when I jogging, I'm thinking I will meet you today, and I'm thinking, if in the future, what I can do most in HP. So I think I can do most. Maybe it's you. I want to be like you, you know, step by step, and be.
Why not? And maybe even higher. No, seriously, if one can do it, so can you.
Yeah, that's why one came today.
Oh, yeah, I will.
She came today as the role model to ask you to dream.
So really, I've got a lot of questions, and I want to know how can I be you, and what's your secret? But my first question is, when I see you, I see you are really in so good condition. You know, your hair grow longer,
beautiful,
and your skin is really shining. So I know you are in good condition, good health, good mood. So I'm really happy to see that.
Thank you. I eat well.
Oh, so that's my first question. What's your secret to take care of your skin?
My goodness. Thank you for the questions. Very honestly, you could tell I don't use makeup. I eat well. I try to walk, not, you know, and do some light exercise during the day if I can, and have a balance on this. Eat well, eat healthy. I cook most of my food. We don't go out, etc. But that's it. And then I use little cream and, you know, keep good hygiene. That's it.
Do you do mask, face mask?
During the day, I try to, but no. You know, I was doing a little bit of that when I was in Singapore, to be honest with you. What I call a power nap. And every now and then I would take 10, 15 minutes before the slew of evening call. I've been trying to do that since I returned to the US. You know, I started my day waking up at 4:45. 5:30 is my first call. And by the time I finish the whole series of morning call, sometimes it is up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And by then I would have like 8, 9, 10 meetings. I'd be lucky if I have 6 or 7 that day. And then in between I would try to Chris was trying to block it so I can take a nap, but there's no nap because then I started to say, oh, what I'm gonna cook for dinner and all this. And then because the dinner ended up being early, so then sometimes 6:30, sometimes 7, sometimes 7:30, today it's 7. 7 p.m. call. So I need to eat dinner, cook dinner and eat dinner, and you cannot rush to your dinner, like,
Yeah.
so that is pretty much my day. So most of the time, I don't get to take a power nap, 10-15 minutes nap lately.
Okay, very good. Very good to
Yeah.
see you. You are so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I have another question. It's about too many questions. Okay, I will choose one. One is, can you share one of your good habit? Maybe that habit help you improve your work efficiency or help you feel good in life.
So one of the habit is one of the maybe the people who want to achieve a lot, and one of my a pathfinder, one of my strengths is achiever, right? So the achiever have the tendency to wanting to feel very productive. And if you don't complete what you set out to do, or you don't do it as well you like, you will feel very guilty and stressed about it, right? So one of the things I try to balance that is make choices and very intentional about the quality and the quantity of the work that I try to do, and also recognizing that I don't have to do them all, especially when you have a big team that, either I say, I'm not going to do this at all. I'm going to have to rely on my team to do it without me intervening in it, or my family to do it without worrying about it, or I do the rest of them and the amount of time. So that is very important for you to feel accomplished, like you get something done, you feel achieved, but also at the same time, you have that balance in life. And also, and by the way, by forcing yourself into that situation, you also empower other, including your kids, to do something about it, or your team member to do it, and you learn something from it as well. So.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, last question is about learning. I agree with you completely. Never stop learning. And me too, I'm doing that. But just now, I heard you shared learning like business model. That is, I've never thought about. So can you share with us, what do you learn?
Learning, I have two ways. One is you just learning about it, and you go about, for example, right now, my staff and I, we are focusing very much on articulating our vision very clearly, and from that vision, create the strategy and the roadmap. And part of the learning is by doing it together. But before we even know how to get about and making sure how do we know we got the best vision and strategy, we also need to go to learn from the best in the leader in the industry, and learn from the consultant, learn from the expert, and learn from your team. So that collectively, I'm using this as an example on how I learn as well. I learned together with my team by doing it. I hope I'm making sense for you, but this is something that it's really important for us in this staff. And today, for example, we just had a deep dive discussion with my boss, Dave McQuarrie, on this. And part of the learning is for us to share, right? And for my team to share that, and for Dave to reflect his feedback and thought process, so we can also learn from him from that business perspective. So learning got a lot of different facets. One is you just learn strictly from the academic, right? Read everything you can, how do you go about develop strategy and vision, what are out there in terms of the Harvard Business Review and other industry, what are the best in industry, etc. But learning it also by doing it. And also learning it not only by talking to my peer, my boss, but also my peer and working with my team.
Yes, thank you. Learning, and the most important is doing it. Yeah, I learn with my peers and my boss. Maybe I cannot touch consultant.
Jordan, anything you want to add there?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I think,
Jordan
well,
always. give us
You
a
you
lot of
mentioned it.
support.
You mentioned it well. Thanks a lot, Wang. And what I'm still thinking is you mentioned a couple of times, which is the family support system. And in fact, that's one of the intention for us to having such a forum. And then you can just see. I think today we are not limited to the female employees, and we have a lot of let's say gentlemen also. And that's why we want to steal the learning from you. So how can we build an internal supporting system between different genders and also here? And we want to build this as our culture, like a big family. We support each other. I think that's a pretty good. And I would say this is the biggest learning I learned from you.
There's one story, if I may share, because I don't think
Yes.
I shared this before, but this is about my husband, right? And the first time I started, I said I started in Cupertino, right? And the first time I was tapped on for a very, 2 years later, I was I was a process engineer. I was selected to lead this very important program, which is to consolidate three main sites, three manufacturing sites, design a brand new factory, and design the just-in-time build-to-order process, and move on the people from the other two sites and start the new site with that, all within 12 months. And in the meantime, the business continue, right? And this is when the senior leadership team, I'm sorry, the senior leadership team were tapping on me and asking me to be the leader, but they also know very well this is 34 years ago, right now, 36 years I was with HP, and they know back then the culture and some of this leader, they're very familiar with the Asian culture. So instead of talking to me, most of the senior leader, the engineering functional manager was the senior director, the GM, the VP of manufacturing, global manufacturing, they all come talk to my husband. And they were, this is a message for the man leader, the male leader. They were all coming back, how surprised they are and how supportive I was to my career and how open he was in that regard. And this is because they wanted to make sure that HP is not messing up with my move or my career. So they wanted, and in the end, this is the reason why my husband ended up quitting his other job, he was like the top employees in his company and joined HP for a different role. So he can support my move to Roseville. That was 34 years ago.
Wow. That impressed us a lot. That's the true meaning of family supporting system. Wow.
Yes.
That's new to all.
To share with you how blessed I am with.
Glad to
even
know.
though at school we were very competitive with each other.
Yeah, you are number one. Maybe Hai is number two.
I didn't say that.
Do we have a recording for the session today?
Yes.
We'll send it Mr. Hai's way.
Oh, Sheena, you didn't hear anything. Please don't share that with him.
Hai will be fine. He supports you. Okay, maybe we can move to the next question. Who will be
Hello.
second?
Oh, it's me. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Wang. Firstly, welcome to Mulan Forum. I'm Helen from Dalian CC China Social PS team. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to project team for focusing on women's influence, and I feel very honored to be a member of Mulan. I really have not only learned tools to improve my communication skills, but also make many friends here, and they really teach me a lot. My question is, As we know, Mulan's IP are confidence, tenacity, and aspiration. And would you please share with us how you understand aspiration, and what do you think? What do you think is the most important for junior managers? Thank you.
I think be curious, believe in yourself. The sky is the limit. And so be curious and explore opportunity, know what you want. Now, there is one thing that I want to be clear that you map out your career, things don't always go the way you wanted it, right? Whether the next move or whatever, but be flexible and be willing to take the risk and that have that curiosity in terms of learning. And those are the things that, you know, the sky is the limit in terms of what you can do. Believe in that. If you believe in that, first of all, and you are proactive in managing it, but it's most important thing in my mind is also always do your best in your current role, no matter how big or small, because that is how you can build your credibility. You know, your career is important, but every step along the way is an important stepping stone. And do well in what you do, and look out and be proactive in managing your career, and work with your management team and your network to continue to build on it and advance and jump on the opportunity. I've been given a lot of opportunity because but if I was not willing to step up and take the risk by moving around and by taking very different role, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wan. I think it's time for the last question.
Oh, may I, Rachel?
Yes, Alma, please.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Wan. This is Alma.
Hi, Alma. Yes.
Hi, Wan. Nice to meet you. I want to continue to talk about the never stop learning topic. Recently, we have had many female growth and female leadership programs like Mulan, and many of our female employees have greatly benefited from these programs. So in addition to this learning program, what do you expect our company or workplace to change over the next 5 years to align with the growth, not only for our female, but also for all employees, to encourage more people to grow?
Yeah, so I think HB is at a very interesting time. And the interesting part of it is there are a few of the catalysts that for change and for change for the more positive. Let me start with the pandemic. The pandemic in a lot of ways is really bad, but in some way it's really good because it become the catalyst for advancing a lot of the things the company, employees, and other and the industry have always been wanting to do, but it have taken a lot of time and overnight. It just help advancing that. So the new normal that we are seeing already today, the new reality, is going to be very different from the past. There'll be more adoption of technology, more adoption of digital. The operating model will be very different. The hybrid, the work from home, the crowdsourcing, a lot of the things that you're familiar with. So that one thing, which is change mean opportunity, right? The other is HB is also growing a lot, and HB under leadership of the CEO Enrique and the team, it also leading with great ambition, with a vision and a strategy that are really advanced HB to a company that will be very different from where we are today. And with growth and the transformation and the catalyst for change with the pandemic and the mega trend on top of that, I think we have an excellent opportunity there to step up and explore what you can do and prepare yourself on how you can contribute and grow and enable HP to grow at the same time. So it will be very transformative. The nature of our work, the nature of the customer, their expectation, and the company, you know, like Enrique was talking about how he wanted to create a school for talent. You're right, for inside HP as well for the industry, how we're going to become more responsible, you know, with the sustainability effort, the diversity, equality, and inclusion, and how we're going to grow into the peripheral and develop new market in the adjacency as well, the new technology to disrupt in the market. So these are all the right strategy, but it will require a lot of work on our side. And you guys need to be very curious and proactive and saying, what role can I play in advancing CCC, the customer care center, CS, but also by doing that, how I prepare myself and my skill so that I am ready for the next opportunity with HP.
Yes, thank you, Wan. To wrap up, would you please give us the keyword for the most important qualities that you would like to see in our Mulan candidates?
So first of all, you know, I hope you are very proud being part of the program and being selected for the talent. So this is an important investment that HP is making in you and recognizing your potential. It is all up to you as well. So the second part is you manage your career. HP is making an investment, take advantage of it. Be confident in yourself, right? I'm going back to some of my learning and the sharing that and the advice that I want to leave you with. Be curious. Never stop learning. Be excellent in what you do and be confident in yourself. Manage your career and tap on your support system. Be at home, be at work, or outside of work.
Yes,
and I
Wan.
wish you the best. And thank you for having me.
Yes, Wan, thank you. Thank you for all the good advice and for your incredible stories and your expectation and advice. And thank you, Jordan, for bringing Mulan program to us. HP is a really good environment for women to work, and Mulan program is making HP an even better one. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Let's meet again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Wan.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.